Welcome back, boys and girls. It's Georgi here, and yes, I'm alone again, but unfortunately that's the situation. Hard days to find same days off with Niamh so we can film. It will happen, but for now, keep the ball rolling alone and you'll be absolutely fine. Today, we're making a cocktail, or should I say, I will present a cocktail for you, which again, it's kind of a, we can qualify it or we can categorize it under the signature cocktails. Even it's a riff on a very famous classic cocktail, the Gimlet. It still kind of could be a signature because basically we kind of wiped out everything from the Gimlet apart from keeping the gin and create brand new recipe. The cocktail was created for the No 3 London Dry Gin competition, which, hey, Niamh is going on the regional finals. So yeah, no pressure. I mean, last year she was youngest mixologist in UK. Let's see what's gonna happen with No 3. But how you do a winning cocktail or how you do riff on a Gimlet, which is basically a very simple recipe, and how can you elevate this cocktail but keep the core and the tradition of the Gimlet? Well, you will find out very shortly. So my lovely friends, if you're new to the channel and if you're ready for some shakes, tears and sips, and let me show you our take, or should I say Niamh take, on the classic Gimlet. Okay, this time no ingredients. To show you, I'm just gonna walk you through. The reason why is because the ingredients, it's in the fridge or in the freezer, relevantly, because the idea of this cocktail is to be served as cold as possible. Now it's very crucial to be served as cold as possible, okay? This is why the mixing glass as well, it's in the freezer, and of course the final vessel, the cocktail glass, still in the freezer, getting extremely cold. Now I'll say if you don't have a freezer, which I'm kind of a doubt, but who knows, could be filled up with something else. Make sure you chill your mixing glass and make sure you chill your serving glass in advance with some ice before you actually pour the cocktail. Okay, boys and girls, so Gimlet. First of all, little history. I'm not gonna go through the whole British Navy and why they drink lime juice and why the lime juice then was preserved with rum, because obviously it's extended life, but then the Scottish fella decided to mix lime juice with sugar to preserve it instead of the alcohol, and fancy call it rose lime cordial, and then it became clear and then became juice again. Obviously all this story forget about. Gimlet is basically gin, lime, sugar. In this case we use a lime rose cordial, I mean back in the days, which it's obviously sweetened lime juice, so you end up with a gin and sweet lime juice. Slowly the rose lime cordial kind of disappeared, or people start using it, and it's turned up again, come back to the fresh lime juice. So this is it, the Gimlet is that, a wonderful London dry gin with a sweet lime juice, or in some cases cordial. So having this in mind, when Niamh decided to do this cocktail, she went for apple, Bramley apple particularly, because they are very tart and have kind of acidity to them. So trying to replicate the lime and of course not taking it off but having some acidity to the cocktail and introducing a different fruit. We tried lacto-fermenting, we tried a few things, it didn't work. So the next step was to try grape. I always liked grape in the cocktails because first of all it have a little bit of sweetness, fantastic flavor, white grape we're talking about here, and of course it introduced some acidity. However, we wanted to kind of elevate the flavor of the grape, okay? And the only way to do it without any thermal preparation of the grape, we decide to squeeze the grape juice, filtrate it, and then freeze it. What this is doing is basically, it's like a sauce vide, but the opposite way. Instead of warming it up and losing some of the flavor and destroying the fruit and bruising it, we did extraction of the juice, then freeze it, and then defrost it slowly, which is helping to separate the juice from the water. So what this is doing is basically giving a fake ripeness. It's elevating the sugar level of the juice, more flavor, more sweetness, more acidity. The water is removed, which is mean more and longer shelf life. This is why you can use only a little amount of the juice and no need to use a big amount, and you can create a wonderful juices using this technique. Now, if you're interested how to do it, make sure you check Mixology Hacks, because I did full video on a cryo-freezing and how to extract flavor from juices by freezing and separate the water from it. And finally, to bring back the lime, but not as a juice or a cordial, we decide to use a lime peel and create Oleo Saccharum. Again, you want to create Oleo Saccharum, make sure you check Mixology Hacks channel. I will leave link in the descriptions, of course. But yes, that's the gimlet which it's created for this competition, and it's proof that it's actually worked, because as I mentioned, Niamh is going on the regional finals and hopefully qualifying for the finals for number 3 London Dry Gin. So if you're ready, my lovely friends, let's make the cocktail. The time is crucial here because everything is frozen, so let's crack on. Now, as you can see, the glass is frozen and of course the gin is frozen. Be careful, because this cocktail is boozy, okay? So it's not for the light-hearted. We're gonna start with number 3 gin, and we're gonna go with 70 ml of the gin. Then it's our grape juice. So this is the grape juice. This is basically what it's left after defrosting and separating the water from the juice. It's full of flavor, full of aromas, it's absolutely wonderful, and it's only 25 ml. This is gonna give enough sweetness because, as I mentioned, separating the water, removing it from the juice, it's increasing the sweetness of the actual juice. And finally, our Oleo Saccharum. This is only 15 ml. And this is it. As simple as that. Now we're gonna grab as much ice we can. I'm just gonna drop straight away ice inside. If your mixing glass is frozen, of course you're gonna stop the dilution straight away, but it's gonna keep the cocktail chilled, and when you put the ice inside, it will keep it there really nice and cold for you to serve. Give it a good stir. You want to chill everything and mix very nice. And while I'm mixing here, don't forget you can check Mixology Hacks, the channel, if you want to learn more about how to do the cryo-freezing or any of other techniques or syrups which I do on the channel, because it's all explained in a good timing, so you can follow step by step and prepare everything. Right. Oh my gosh, it's a fire. Make sure you get your frozen glass and let's serve. Okay, my lovely friends, this is our frozen glass. Let's pour the beautiful 3 Keys Gimlet. Look at that, it's like an oil. Oh. And of course, finally, you need a garnish. Now, Niamh decided to garnish with the 3 grapes, and that's why the cocktail is called 3 Keys, because it's 3 grapes and obviously the key of the bottle, because number 3 have the key in the front. The grapes in the original cocktail, it's soaked in gin, so to infuse with gin. This one is just a normal. They're more about a garnish which slowly is gonna defrost, and of course it's gonna keep the cocktail cold as well because they're frozen. So everything is kind of a thought for a maximum enjoyment and having a cold cocktail for longer. Now, if you want to infuse your grapes with a gin, it's simply just pop them in a small jar with a gin until they infuse. You can infuse them, of course, with a nitro press, like we did with the cacao nibs on Mixology Hacks, which is gonna give them even more quicker infusion, but that's entirely up to you. Let's try the 3 Keys first. Cheers. Oh my. This is a proper wonderful riff on the gimlet. You can feel it strong You can feel the burning, you can feel the juniper berries, but this grape, the sweetness and the lime oleo saccharum balance so well with the gin, and because it's very cold, it's extremely pleasant to drink. Literally, I'm telling you, it's a wonderful cocktail, but to be honest with you, I can take only one. It's not one of those cocktails to abuse, let's put it that way. You need to enjoy it, you need to appreciate it, you need to have a good time with a cocktail, and if you feel you can handle two, go for it, but just don't push too much because it's literally, yeah, it's a bit strong, okay? So this is it. We'll let you know if Niamh go to the finals. We'll figure it out soon we know the results from the competition, but until then, as always my friends, check other videos on the channel, check mixology hacks if you want to prepare some stuff at home, and stay safe, have fun, go shake, stir, and enjoy your weekend or whatever you do this week. I'll see you next week with another cocktail. Until then, as always, I love you and I leave you. Bye bye.